there's so many commercials rolling around right now of all these people are going to cure you of everything. And we'll start off with the male topic, which leads all the commercials and all the claims and all these things people want to send you through the FedEx doctor.
Well, they drive me crazy if they don't drive you crazy. The long and short of it is they're making a complicated problem look very, very simple. But they're doing so in such a way as to make a lot of money at the same time. That works well for them, doesn't work well for you or anybody else. But the long and short of it is this. Okay, for men, okay, we focus on testosterone when in fact, for most men, the problem is not testosterone at all. Yes, it might be low. Yes, it's certainly lower than it was when the man was in his 30s or 20s for that matter. But it's the estrogen that drives men off the edge. Estrogen goes up, mechanics go down. It's not the testosterone, but the testosterone to estrogen ratio that's important. So rather than focusing on one number, but in fact you really have to be looking at a ratio, you look at both, you look at other hormones as well in order to figure out what you do about these things once you figure it out. Because it's a whole lot easier and sometimes a whole lot more dangerous to simply give a hormone rather than looking to restore balance. So here's how it works. In men and women, their estrogen levels are supposed to be within a certain range. But over time, testosterone levels decrease in men, but they decrease in women also. What do these do? This leads to heart disease, it leads to stroke, it leads to osteoporosis, it leads to a lot of rather unseemly and uncomfortable disease states, all of which are preventable. But what about progesterone? It's important to men also. In fact, a man's progesterone should be roughly the same as his wife. Go figure this one out. Progesterone is not a female hormone. It does not know gender. Then we're looking at estrogen, and here's where the difference emerges. Vive la différence. As women get older, their estrogen levels diminish. So what happens is progesterone goes first, testosterone second, estrogen third. When estrogen is the last hormone standing, guess what? That's when the hot flashes occur. When estrogen goes, the hot flashes go away. They are seemingly happy, but the bloom is about ready to fall off the rose bush. In men, on the other hand, life is not fair. Their estrogen level will exceed that of that individual's wife at the age of 40, and it goes up from there. So the average man in his 60s and 70s has an estrogen level of a young woman, which kind of explains why they go out and play golf, watch matinees, okay, and cry in certain commercials. It makes no sense.
Right.
But in order to get the sexual issues, the libido, the hydraulics, call it what you want, in order to get these things working and moving, it's not enough to focus on testosterone levels. It just isn't going to happen, but you have to look to decrease the estrogen as well. Well, how do you know that estrogen is going to be a problem? Well, statistically, it's going to. Okay, if you need to see more than that, look at the breast tissue. It induces breast tissue in men, and if you go to the spa or whatever, you don't have to look very far before you'll see a man with larger breasts than your wife. It happens quite frequently. What else? Balding, weight around the middle. These are the things that tend to demonstrate the estrogen effects. The bedroom stuff may not be obvious at the spa. You would hope not anyway.
But so a lot of these claims that you hear by especially the mail order stuff, for the call 1-800 or 888, and some of this, could their prescriptions of testosterone be causing problems? I see a lot of lawyers now advertising that there are some legal claims out there.
Yeah, there will be problems. The main reason is this. When you give testosterone intramuscularly, as many of these places do, you take a shot a week and away go the troubles. Okay, estrogen levels are forced upwards. Well, if that weren't bad enough, okay, SHBG, or sex hormone binding globulin, goes up. That ties up the free testosterone, which in turn leads to lower levels anyway. Even if you look like the numbers are doing better, they really aren't. But then comes the fun part. When you take a shot of testosterone, when anybody takes a shot of testosterone, the muscles will bulk up. Okay, they will bulk up just nicely, but so does the heart. And it enlarges concentrically inward. So it's kind of like taking a pump and filling it with lead, filling it with solder, filling it with something that can't go out.
Wow.
Pretty soon the heart chamber starts to fill with its own muscle, and you go into congestive failure. That's why these young guys, wrestlers and so on and so forth, are dropping dead of heart attacks or dropping dead with congestive heart failure. it doesn't end well. The other thing that is typical, but hopefully will change over time, is that testosterone has to contain progesterone and something called chrysin. And the available testosterone products that are commercially distributed do not have this. It's straight testosterone. Where do they tell you to put it? They put it over the armpits, the tummy, the thighs, places that contain lots of estrogen. The testosterone itself passes through fat tissue in those remarkable places, and what happens? It converts to estradiol. So you have a very, very brief period where it works, and then an extended period where nothing works. So when I have my testosterone compounded, not by me, but one of several different pharmacists with whom I've trained and who I have instructed as to how I like it done, the compounds will contain not only testosterone, but progesterone and this chrysin product, which prevents its degradation. So you actually get more bang for your buck as well.
And not too much. I mean, the money isn't much.
Well,
when it
what I
comes from
did
your
was I
place.
twisted arms. Okay, believe it or not, the docs that are out there for the most part are going to tell their patients it's going to be between $80 and a couple $100 a month. Okay, and everybody's happy with that. My patients pay $22 a month, sometimes as much as $24 or $25, because of the deal that I cut with the pharmacist. And I don't get anything for that, not even a Christmas card, at least not for the past several years. I am hoping that will change.
Well, this is the thing that gets me. We've got a lot of people that are going out and spending a lot of hard-earned money, maybe to put their life at risk, or there wouldn't be so many commercials from the lawyers going after all this.
Well, sure enough. It happens when you go skiing, too. You put your life at risk, but why do it when you're trying to do something a little bit less physically demanding, although a lot of people would argue otherwise. Okay.
Now tell us about your product. You always have a little sense of humor with your products that you have at the Stages of Life Institute. I mean, it is serious, it is medicine, but we got to have a little sense of humor. It is life.
Well, if you can't poke fun at your patients, who can you poke fun at? So, in any event, what we write, we put on the labels exactly what's in it. Okay, there's not this proprietary blend of nonsense. Gee, I'm not going to tell you what's in it, or you have to vote on it before you can read what's in it. That's for other people, not for us. So what do? We have one product to lower estrogen, not for use in women without my specific endorsement, because I won't allow it to go out the door, and it's called No Mo Whining. Go figure. It's D-indole-methane. It's derived from a cruciferous vegetable, oddly enough, called broccoli. And what happens is it prevents the production of estrogen, which is why it's thought to prevent cancer. Well, that's a bad thing in women, not preventing cancer, but lowering estrogen, because for the most part, it's usually too low anyway. So we do it with silymarin and curcumin. Again, you have to adjust the dosage, and insoluble fiber. That's how it's done. That's how we do it, and it gets done quite routinely.
Okay, and when you're looking at the men, how long does it take for this stuff to start working once they get on a regimen of these very inexpensive pills?
Yeah. The D-indole-methane costs a little bit more than $20 a month. The silymarin curcumin mixture, that generally takes about $20 worth of resources per month, and you start feeling better with that alone in about 4 weeks. When you take the testosterone transdermal, now we use a cream, you rub it on your forearms, not any place else, no place else, period, because that's the only place on your body that's easily obtained without the use of hands, and it has no fat. No fat, no conversion to estradiol. Everybody's happy, in particular me. Why? Because if my patients rub the stuff on with their hands, those hands are used to transfer it to other people without their knowledge, consent, or understanding as to why they're developing facial hair, and they're women.
That can cause many problems.
Oh, it does.
All right, and tomorrow we're going to be talking with the doctor from the women's point of view. How can they be helped and know that they're getting something that's not going to hurt them? Meanwhile, I turn to my partner in crime, and that is Robin, who's actually the doctor's partner in crime. And tell us about websites, phone numbers, hours, everything you got.
You can reach Stages of Life at 407-679-3337. Our website is stagesoflife.net, and we are located in Longwood at 1917 Booth Circle. That's right off of I-4 and 434 in Longwood.
And they can also buy the nutraceuticals with the website, right?
They can just click on the vitamins and mineral tab, and that will take you right to our online store.
Okay, and if you want more information, simply go to that website, stagesoflife.net, not .com, .net. Don't fall for imposters, and you will learn more from our good doctor.